Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and like.
Our movie begins with our Gan, who has been dealt a lot at work to the point that he fell into depression and said to himself, "What is this that I am getting from work? It wasn't even a few piasters. I only get them at the beginning of the month." He got up and took a no-risk, no-fun job and immediately submitted his resignation until he discovered the passion inside him. The next day, he wakes up to a shower because the apartment below his has finally been occupied. Curiosity takes him to watch, and at that moment, his friend Jin tells him that the new residents are a man named Uncle Yoon and his two daughters, who are following him and intend to take over the shop at the end of the street to open a bakery. At the end of the day, Gan is talking to his mother on the phone, assuring her that the situation is under control until she gets disgusted with him, or he tells her that the apartment is shining like this from all the cleanliness. Of course, he is forced to clean the house because she annoys him and asks him to take pictures of the place for her so she can celebrate his achievements. Little did he doesn't have depression anymore, and after he finishes, he goes down to throw out the trash. He is happy and finds a girl sitting in the garden drinking. Suddenly, without any warning, his eyes sparkle and hearts pop out from how much he admires her. Because our son, Pepper, is mentally ill, he takes some time and goes to meet his friend normally. He said something happened and tells him that she was exactly like an angel. He asks him, "Didn't you do anything except leave and abandon her? You better go home. I don't have the mood for what you're saying." Then he goes back home and takes the elevator. But luckily for him, the elevator stops on the floor below him. Suddenly, he finds the angelic girl he saw in the garden, but this time her appearance has changed 180 degrees, and the red diet has made her hair look like something devilish in the end. Other than that, as soon as she sees his face, she freezes in his mind and keeps asking him, "Who are you exactly? What brought you here?" In her eyes, when he tries to escape from her grip, he hits her head with his arm, and she turns over with her neck. When he wakes up the next day, he is afraid to leave the house because the neighbors have no hope left. Half of his eye, guys, was about to fly away, so he tries to leave as quietly as possible without anyone noticing him. He goes to the bakery to get something to eat for breakfast. Before he enters, he keeps looking around the place from the outside and looks out the door to explore. I mean, it's better if there is treachery or something like that. Suddenly, he finds a woman standing behind him. "What exactly are you doing?" We know then that she is the daughter of the owner of the place. Out of curiosity, she asks him, "Do you live near here?" "Originally, I feel like I resemble this creature," so she knows that he lives on the floor above you all the time. Of course, the excitement takes her. "And what is this? God, we are neighbors now." She calls her sister, Sok, and tells her, "Come quickly so I can introduce you to our neighbor, instead of us being cut off from a tree like this." As soon as she leaves the market, we find Gain, his eyes rolling in shock, because she turns out to be the same girl, Malik, who turns into a red man in the middle of the night. He gets very nervous and takes his things and runs quickly before she realizes that he is the one who hit her in the elevator and hurts her head. But the strange thing is that he finds her coming after him, running, and she keeps calling him, so he runs all the way and hides, thinking that she will not see him. But our daughter has a wide eye and catches him easily and says to him, "I am now. 10 minutes and I'll call you. We're giving a discount to the neighbors." She gives him a chocolate bar and takes some and leaves. From that moment on, our son remains confused, not understanding what exactly is happening and who is taking him to where, until the clock strikes 2 a.m. He looks out the balcony and finds her standing in the middle of the street with her long hair and spreads both hands. He says, "In a little while, she'll fly away." He's still going to go down quickly so we can see what exactly is happening, but he feels like he won't be the cutest and that he's sticking to her. That's it. He runs to the fridge and takes out a bottle of milk and drinks it in one gulp. He goes out into the street, repeating to himself that he doesn't know what the milk is that runs out at these strange times. He keeps looking for her with his eyes because she has disappeared. At that moment, we find Sok smiling at her life and crossing the road in a daze. Cars are coming, and before Gon can catch up with her, he finds a man holding her while she is screaming at the top of her lungs and saying to him, "Leave me now, right away." Gon runs at her with all his might and grabs the man. He is about to hit him, but he is surprised when he says to him, "I am her father. By the way, whose business are you? Why are you following my daughter?" "They don't know. She didn't do anything. I swear, I was just going to get out to throw a bottle of milk, but I found her crossing the road. I tried to be a gentleman with her. Nothing more." They ask her, "Did you see her before at night?" So they know that I rode with her, you son, in the elevator and almost hit her in the head. As soon as she hears the others, she immediately remembers them and runs to grab him by the neck to take her rights. She keeps cursing him until her father tells her, "Come on, my son, get out of here before you waste what's left of your dignity." At the end of the day, when her sister comes back from outside, she sneaks into her room room to check on her. When she finds her sleeping, she says to herself, "Thank God, I got out safely." But suddenly, she finds her father coming from behind her and asking her, "Where have you been in this elegant outfit? And didn't I stress more than once that you should stay with your sister instead of causing a disaster? So you know that I locked the door, I swear, before I left, but it was almost like that. God knows if the lock is broken or what. No one knows, so he feels that talking is pointless." The next day, we find Gon coming down in the elevator, and by chance, he finds Sok coming to ride with him. He is on the tip of his tongue to apologize to her for what he did, but he finds her completely dressed, not remembering anything. She says to him, "Did you go down which floor so I could step on you?" At the end of the day, she transforms into someone else. Her father is the one who stays with her in the street in case something like this or that happens. Controlling the situation, she tells him, "The neighborhood here is really ridiculous. No, I have to cross the road to take you to the market." He replies, "You are not the reason for all this. We were honored and respected in the old neighborhood. But okay, no problem. Everything is fine." Before she can reply, we find her suddenly having some minor spasms in her face and sleeping on herself, standing. Her father realizes that it is time to leave so that she can return to her normal appearance. He is still going to carry her on his back, but almost like that, the burden of his asceticism comes upon him. As if his back is bruising you, he does not know how to move at all, so she is about to fall off him. But luckily for him, our Stoker son has been following them from the beginning and catches her at the last moment before she falls. He also quickly calls an ambulance for her father and takes her home. The next day, he goes to the hospital to visit this old man and check on his muscles. He says to him, "Are you, uncle, looking at me? In luck or what? And whenever I am with Sok, we find you in front of us. Are you emerging from underground? Or what is your situation exactly? And then, you brought what I asked of you?" So he takes out a housing file from his pocket and gives it to him because he wants to be reassured. Does he have a family? Or is he cut off from his family? Or what is the situation exactly? And then he finds out that his father and mother are traveling to America with his little sister. As for him, he has been playing more than 10 math games throughout his entire life, but until now, he still doesn't know what exactly he wants to do. So he asks him, "Do you have a criminal record?" And he replies, "No, of course not. I'm not into that kind of stuff, man. I'm telling you, I've practiced more than 10 math games throughout my life. I was just curious about Sok because she keeps appearing with a different personality." So he looks at him in surprise and says, "I can tell you the whole truth, but on one condition. You stay with me tonight. And the most important thing before all of this is to close the curtain. This is better. It's better for someone to stick their ears to us anyway. Honestly, my daughter, may God keep her away from us, was born possessed by an evil spirit. It's a curse that her mother has in the family, and it's passed from one daughter to her daughter immediately after she dies. But what's the reason? And how do we get rid of it? Science hasn't discovered it yet, so our son gets very nervous. Tell me what this strange talk is. As for the burden he'll carry, which is that he'll be responsible for it from the moment it strikes 2 at night, because that's when the evil spirit appears, until she loses consciousness and then returns to normal again. Of course, he assures him that Sok doesn't know anything about the matter because she wakes up forgetting everything that happened. At the end of the day, Gon wears the piece on the rope and sticks his hair to one side to look his best. He goes down to wait for her until she puts on the red suit and she goes down too. As soon as she sees him, she says to him, "And from this point on, you know that I, evil spirit, meaning if you stay with me for long, I can tell you how great you are." And suddenly, she raises her hands in extreme terror and points at him and says to him, "I will smell something that will almost incite you. God knows, is this your heart? You poor thing, are you still looking for your passion in life? No, you also don't know how to tell those around you the truth. So man, why don't you talk to me and I will help you?" He gets very upset. He takes the words personally and goes to her father and says to him, "He is telling you, this path is not mine. Honestly, I am not able to do it." But her father knows that she is doing all this to grab your weak point. "You idiot. These are the tricks of a demon. If you only knew how to confuse her properly, you will be the one who runs the game. If you feel that the matter is difficult for you, then I have a good solution, since you have compensated me for this period, which is for you to work in the morning in the bakery, and he will also follow up with her while she is in her real personality. And the next day, when he goes to the bakery, he is very surprised that she is treated in a completely different way, and he asks her sister if she really forgets everything. So she confirms the strangest information is that the spirit of the ghost remembers everything that happens, whether in the morning or even at night. And actually, when he meets her at night, she keeps making fun of him because he was absent in the world since it is his first day at work, and so on. So he says to her, "Is what is happening is real? My dear, I thought this ghost dialogue is the last in the movies and that's it. So is this a prank? And I don't know. So it is repeated that she treats him with shock, and I start on him. Does anyone know you, except me, to play a prank on you? And then I took into account that you sit and roll your eyes at her, like that all day long. So what is this? My master. What is this? Hold her. She is going to wake up anyway. She doesn't remember anything, so he runs away from her quickly before she wears him personally, and I scare her, so she feels that these methods, he doesn't bring it with him. So we find her transforming into a kind soul in a moment, and she speaks in her winter voice and says to him, "Frankly, I admire you," but he is completely awake and remembers her father's words when he told him, "She is trying to control you, not just him or her. I don't believe you, because no one has ever loved me that quickly." So she surrenders to reality and takes him. They go to the market so she can get the cake she loves, and then when he feels that she is calm enough, he asks her, "What happened inside Ski's body?" She replies that one of her ancestors wronged her greatly, and that is why she wore it. Then I am moving from one to another. If you want to inquire, how long will I continue? Then, by God, when she realizes that he does not believe her words, she quickly stands up and continues to hit and throw at everything around her, to the point that she grabs an insect, and she'll still eat it, just to prove to him that she's an evil spirit and stuff, or a disgusting human being. Anyway, it's easy for him to tell her that she's an idiot. "You understand wrong, you idiot. I eat them for lunch anyway." And one day passes by, and our son spends his day with Suk in the brothel, but at night, he spends it with the evil spirit, just to please her. And when he gets to the end of it, he talks to her sister that there's no way he can get information from her. She tells him that she respects the bet very much, in addition to being stupid, and she can be laughed at easily, so she gets excited about the idea, and takes her to the amusement park to try the game that makes teddy bears come out of. They know about it, and he says to her, "Listen, my lady, choose the teddy bear you like, and I'll get it out for you in 3 attempts. But if you succeed, you'll show me how to get you out of her body. Oh, and another thing is that we remove the formalities between us, basically. So you are younger than me. I love him. They are sweet, honestly." So she replies to him, "It's over, but if you don't know how to get it, I will increase the time I will keep her in Soccer's body." And because, God willing, our son has been crying for a long time, he gets embarrassed very easily. This is what he is good at playing at. So at that moment she tells him, "It's over. Don't you want to know the answer to get the evil spirit out of anyone's body? All you have to do is call his name 3 times and ask him to come out. See how simple it is?" He racks his brain over it and asks her, "So, what is your name?" She pretends to be honest, meaning that she is, so she tells him, "I don't remember, of course." These are questions that are asked. The next day, he goes to Masuka to deliver an order of baked goods to a restaurant he works with, by chance. As soon as the son of the owner of the place sees her, she finds him standing in front of her for a while, looking at her strangely, and he is still going to hold her hand. But our son is very careful, and he goes to take her, and they sit in a place to have a drink together, and at that moment, Kalam takes them, and she tells him, "I feel that lately, I have not been sleeping well, because every day I see a very strange dream, which is that I am walking, and there is someone walking around me, as if he is protecting me." So his face starts to become unique, and the smile starts to stay from here to there, and he says, "Oh yes, I am the one who protects you," but he finds her breaking it off completely. When she says to him, almost like, this is a dog in his eyes, the word affects him deeply, to the point that he is sitting with her at night, in front of the river, and she goes evil and complains to her, and suddenly, they hear the sound of an ambulance, and the police almost, God knows, there is someone standing on top of the bridge, and wants to jump, so our girl runs with all enthusiasm quickly, and goes to signal to him from below, so the man thinks that she is doing all this to encourage him, but he is shocked when he finds her telling him to get up and jump. "This is very easy. This Yadobak will be exactly like a pinjack. Even if you don't believe me, give me a try." Suddenly, without any introduction, you will find her really jumping and coming. If this proves to you that I think she is the fire, of course, Gon is shocked, and goes to jump after her, but an ambulance quickly catches him because he does not know how to get up. As for her, they catch her from the surveillance cameras while she is in the middle of the fire. A river takes catches, and at that moment, the news is heard everywhere, so it would be easy for him to hit his head on the nearest wall. So, she tells them, "I will excuse myself because I am just going to the chair," meaning our son, out of curiosity, takes it and asks her sister, "What is this chair that she goes to every day?" She tells him that she is learning French because she wants to travel and complete her studies there in order to open her bakery. He is very affected because of the spirit that sticks to her. She is the one who will know how to leave, or she comes to a place, and at the end of the day, he is waiting for her to go out, and he is going to go evil, but he is surprised when he finds her outside with her hair down and wearing a white shirt. She calmly asks him, "Why are you standing like this?" He is surprised that she hasn't changed yet, and takes her for a walk together, and asks her, "Why haven't you slept yet?" She tells him, "Today is the anniversary of my mother's death. I can't sleep from longing. And because our son is a bombshell, Gentala says to her, you can talk about anything you want. I'm all ears. She sits on him. What do you think about going to the cinema together? Suddenly, in the middle of the movie, Blea brings her hand closer to him. He gets excited and holds her hand. He's also not happy anymore, but her joy is short-lived because she laughs wickedly and says to him, did she walk in on you or what? You're really stupid. She walks and leaves him. He goes and reads it and says to her, on the occasion that you came and ruined my date, what do you think about getting out of this poor body and leaving her alone because she wants to travel? She tells him, I can actually go, but on one condition, that you like it. Aaliyah does all the things I love, honestly. I want to see the sea. He asks her, so, will you be able to see something at night? She replies, at night, uncle. In the morning, the next day, he takes a shower and they both travel together. At the end of the day, when the evil one leaves, she comes back. He asks her, did you get to see the sea or what exactly? So she tells him, it's only 5 minutes so I can hit you and spend some time with her. He asks her, so when do you intend to disappear? At that moment, we find her collapsing on him and saying to him, you promised me that you would try to make me happy, but you are not doing anything except thinking about sugar and taking some of it and running away from him quickly. He goes after her and says to her, okay, forgive me, my lady. See what you want to do, and I am watching you. Then she says to him, okay, take me on the trampoline. I want to ride it. He asks her, do you mean a trampoline? Right? Come on, I will cheer up May. Ignorance be destroyed, my lady. He traveled to France, he said, and the next day, he is in the bakery and finds Kim, the son of the restaurant owner, who came to him especially and says to him, I know that she is possessed. Can I help you get rid of the evil spirit inside her? So he keeps trying to get lost in a subject. And what is the possession of her, uncle? But there is no such thing. So he says to him, uncle, I am sure that the words I am saying have been observing her for a while. If you really want to help her, then I could do that. But Gam feels inside that something is wrong. In addition, when the evil explanations appear, she asks him, did he come to you, right? Well, know that if he tries to hurt me, I will unleash all this harm on him. After that, Sug comes back from the chair and finds a woman with a broken arm. She says to her, sorry, could you tie me the coach? Just like you can see? After that, she doesn't help her. She takes out her clothes from her pocket and tells her to consider them a token of gratitude. As soon as Sug gets on the bus, she eats the clothes right away. After 5 minutes, she starts to fall and sleep on the window. Because Kim has everything arranged, he gets behind her and stands next to her so that he is not affected by the situation. At that time, Gan starts to get tense because she is late. In addition, when he calls her, he finds her mobile turned off. Luckily, her father has linked her mobile to her location, so he can easily know her location, and he takes his car and goes there immediately. And at that moment, he was saying to him, are you stupid? I am doing all this to help you, and then go to a small family, and I need to train. I mean, it is very easy for us to get rid of it, but our son refuses and starts to show him the sports that he went through in his life, and takes it and runs to the car. And while they are returning on the road, he asks it, if you want to tell me what happened, I can listen to you normally. You know that in the next 1,000 years, a great famine will happen to us in the village, and I lost my entire family. So of course, the people of the village wanted to look for any solution. So they brought a fortune teller to bring them the olive tree, and she simply suggested to them that they offer a sacrifice so that their problems will be solved. And because the new village will not care about anything good other than it, they decided to get rid of me and offer me up. And by luck, there was a decent family who took the ashes, mine, and they put it in a jar and buried it underground. Years passed, and Jeddah Soccer came, who with all intelligence and cunning, dug in the ground out of curiosity, meaning, and when she found this jar, she took it and washed it to make pickles in it. Of course, she didn't find a place to go except to wear it, and that's it. I kept moving from one to the other until I reached Sak and closed with her this sad story. By the way, you don't need to worry about my presence, because as soon as the moon is full, I will leave her body and she will disappear into the darkness with my sad memories. At that time, it will be very difficult for him, and he will ask her, okay, isn't there any other way for you to be more of a human being than this? You know, the only way is for you to find the jar that you were buried in, because if I stayed inside it for 50 years, I would be able to move to the other world normally. But where are we now? Where is the jar? And after that day, the evil spirit enters a state of depression because the moon is gone. He has a few days left, and it will be completed, but Gon will reject the matter completely, and he is like, I will not let you wander in the dark like that. He goes to ask her father about the house her grandmother used to live in, and he travels by himself and keeps digging all over the house until he finally finds her. When the last day comes, we find the evil spirit taking Abu Sakr and taking him down to walk a little, just to say goodbye to him, and she says to him, honestly, there is nothing from him, so you do not deserve everything everything I did to you. But, okay, he got better. Suddenly, they find Ganem coming towards them, and his clothes are covered in dust, and his condition is bad. He pulls Mandana by the hand and tells her to come with him quickly. He takes her to the garden that she always loves to walk in, and takes the part out of the bag and says to her, "You deserve to be happy, by the way, and that is why I did this. Anything is possible now. Let me know your name." So she opens up crying and tells him, "My name is Yuna." So he asks her, "Are you ready, Yuna, to be transferred to the jar? And then I want you to be sure. I will take care of you for the next 100 years like this until you are transferred, at least slowly." And he starts to say her name 3 times and reassures her that she will leave Sukar's body to enter the jar until finally the mission is successfully completed. And after that, our daughter starts preparing herself to travel to complete her studies. As for her sister, she opens her own shop and sets the world on fire with sales. After a few years, we find our son starting to work in what he loves finally. And at that time, Suk returns to Korea too. And the first thing she does is call him because she was impressed with him like that, but in the secret. Up to here, our movie ends here. Please like and subscribe. Check out other exciting movies available on the channel.